President Trump, former President Trump, has apparently made up his mind about running in 2024. Watch this.
You're not going to answer, but I have to ask. Where are you in the process of, let me ask you this, without giving the answer what the answer is, have you made up your mind?
Yes.
I think you got it right. Yeah. When you look, you know, it's funny because I've known you 25 years. And I remember when you were first talking about running, and we actually argued. Remember we'd argue about certain things in Iraq and certain wars and everything? And then you became president. And I remember when I supported you, I said he will govern as a conservative, and people didn't understand. You really governed as conservative as any president in the modern day. That is your core belief.
And actually, Sean, you have known me for a long time, and my views have never really changed.
So, he says yes, he made his mind up, but he doesn't give the answer as to what it is. I think the answer is yes, he's going to run. Now, here's why I say that. Since I'm a political junkie and a loser and a nerd, I was, within the last week or two, I was watching some Bill O'Reilly clips. I know, I'm like the last person left on the planet who does that. He's doing a web show, and there were some clips that popped up for recommended on YouTube. I watched some of them. Here's why I think the answer is yes, that Trump is running. Bill O'Reilly said, and he went to go meet with Trump, I believe at Mar-a-Lago, within the first, month or two after Trump was out of the White House. And very, very casually, as a side point, Bill O'Reilly said, the president is in high spirits, he's feeling good. And then he said something along the lines of, he's really looking forward to and wants to run in 2024. Now, that's big news, right? But he just said it casually and, glossed over it. And it was a side point, which, by the way, I think actually makes it more believable. Because it wasn't let me tell everybody the news I'm breaking, here's, the main story. No, it was in the middle of a conversation more about how Trump and Bill O'Reilly are going to go on a tour together. But as a side point, he's just he's in high spirits and he's really looking forward to running in 2024. What? And so that's why you see in a lot of these statements, Trump is teasing 2024, and he's actually given a little wink and a nod to the QAnon people, and sometimes he says 2024 or sooner. So in other words, am I going to be reinstated as president in August, as a lot of the QAnon people believe? I mean, it's amazing that anybody believes that, but there are people who believe that. So, he's trying his best to stay relevant as much as he can while being kicked off of many social media platforms. And, yeah, I think the answer is yes. I think he wants to run. Now, if he doesn't run, it's very possible he doesn't, because this is a long time away from now. But if he doesn't run, I think he would have to change his mind on the side of, well, now I don't want to run. But as of right now, I think he thinks I'm definitely running. Again, it's a long time away. He's really old. Who knows what can happen between now and then. But I think he wants to run again. I do. And that gets to a lot of questions, man, because we'll get to another story on this later. The top, or some of the top Democratic contenders against him, let's just say it is certainly not a guarantee that Trump would lose in 2024. It's very possible he wins. It is. It absolutely is. Now, will the anti-Trump sentiment still be as strong in 2024 as it was in 2020? Because he does generate a strong opposition as well, along with support. I don't know yet, and it's hard to read the tea leaves from this far out, but it's nothing to scoff at is the point. Him running again would be nothing to scoff at, and I think it would be almost a guarantee that he wins the Republican primary. So he might as well not even have it. I'm kidding, definitely have it, but if he does run, it's who's going to overtake him? Fucking Nikki Haley? She has the personality of a dirty diaper. Never said anything interesting in her life. Seriously, who's going to... Chris Christie, who's just diet Trump? It's just not going to happen. So, Mitt Romney, robot man, big defender of the Republican establishment. It's just not going to happen. So anyway, I think that he made his mind up and he wants to run. Now, The whole interview, by the way, is so sycophantic. Oh my God. Sean, drop the cock and balls, bro. Please, for the love of God. And I left that second part in there because it's too perfect, where Sean is saying, and I think he's right about this, that, hey, I remember talking to people and saying you're going to be a very conservative president. And Trump effectively is like, yeah. And it's true. He did govern like a very conservative president. And that's my biggest bone to pick with him, is that he basically was George W. Bush on steroids. His biggest legislative accomplishment was what? It was the 2017 tax cuts, which overwhelmingly went to the wealthy. 83% of them went to the top 1%. I mean, George W. Bush on steroids. Let the neocons run his foreign policy, with only a handful of exceptions. North Korea, where they tried to make peace in some way, and at least we didn't attack them. I'm happy about that. But everything else, Iran, continuing all the other wars, even though he pretends like, you know, we got out of them or he was trying to get out of them. Well, if you were trying to get out of them, you got stonewalled and the generals won, son. So I wouldn't exactly be taking a victory lap over that. But yeah, the list goes on and on. Massive deregulation, gutting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, all this stuff. So yeah, he is very conservative, and that's the problem. And it's interesting that, you know, depending on the forum, Trump will obviously change his tune about how he is as a politician, how he governed. He's with Sean Hannity here, so he's got to be, you know, Mr. Conservative. And yeah, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. I think that's an accurate description of him. So there you have it. Obviously, it's too early to tell either way, but my reading of the situation is he wants to run. Whether or not he does is yet to be seen because it's so far away.